there is a concern, that among the adults working as teachers, that they're using these children to validate their own gender. I mean, TikTok, as you've probably seen, is full of videos from educators, particularly in the US, who are practically in tears because they managed to convince their classroom of 9-year-olds to use neo pronouns. Now, what do you say to parents? Should they be concerned about their children's welfare inside this modern school system?
So parents should absolutely be concerned. They need to be having conversations with the teacher the first week of school. You should be telling this teacher that you are not okay with your child being taught gender ideology. You need to have these conversations with your own child at an age-appropriate level, of course. You need to arm them with the truth that they're beautiful just as they are, so that when these lies come for them, these lies just bounce off. But it's not even the teachers always. A lot of teachers are still just like us. They are firmly rooted in reality. But all of these schools bring in third-party companies to teach this comprehensive sex education, they call it. And every one of those companies are going to be run by the absolute extremists pushing all of this trans nonsense. So you need to know when that's happening in your kid's school, and if it's going on, you pull them out.
Well, is this how you came across the topic? I mean, if you've got children, obviously it's come up, but how did you end up getting involved in this topic and being so passionate that you will walk down the streets of foreign cities and give interviews to the press about it?
Yeah, so my kids have never been affected by this. And I see this as a cult, really, that has affected the entire Western world. I came across this term puberty blockers, I think, on Twitter back in 2019. And at the time, my kids were 7 and 9. I have 2 girls. And I thought, what the heck are these? That doesn't sound good. And of course, they're exactly what they sound like. We're blocking puberty in perfectly healthy children. Stopping the development of perfectly healthy kids. That's totally insane. Not just that, we're altering their bodies. We're turning them into sterilized, mutilated, anorgasmic, lifelong pharmaceutical patients and calling this love. So I wanted to learn all about this to protect my own kids. But the more I learned, the worse it got. And I just felt a calling to do something about it, because I'm not going to look back at my life and say I knew about this greatest child abuse scandal in the history of modern medicine, and I could have done something about it, which I am doing something about it, but I wasn't going to look back at my life with regret because I did nothing.
Yeah, I think the problem with Western civilizations, we rely so heavily on the heroes and our stories of all these great political figures and social figures, but they're dead. The ghosts of Western civilization aren't going to come and rescue us from the madness of modern activism. And so ordinary people like yourself, Chris, have to stand up and actually fight these fights.